Yes, 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 people. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning for others. Hope everybody's well. It's the Armoury TV. We're back. It's another W. Arsenal keep marching on. I don't see my after the intro. Yes, good afternoon, people. Armory TV's back in full effect. I've got my guys with me. I've got Bobby, the watch along king. How you keeping, bro?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, just finished watching it. Second half was a bit dull, but first half
I'm about to say,
entertained
did
me.
you
But
stay
yeah,
awake during the second? I was
it
just
was a
about to ask
struggle,
you
but
that, to be honest.
thankfully Cole joined me, so that had a bit of entertainment just chatting with him.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he'd always keep you awake.
it was the first half. I was impressed, but I have to say, and I'm not saying this is because Arsenal won, but Fulham were poor today, really poor.
Mm,
Have to be
mm,
honest.
definitely. I agree with you there. And also we got in the building Brenny. We're rocking the old school scarf. How you keeping the old crest?
Got to be done, man. It's got to be done. Yeah, man. Feeling good, feeling good. Here you go for the viewers. The old school patch. Mwah.
Canners
Love
is
it.
here.
And
Yes, yes, yes.
look who's here.
Canners in
Look
the
who else
house.
is here today.
How you doing,
Man,
lads?
like,
We good?
how you
All
keeping?
good,
Yeah,
all
man.
good.
You good?
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic, fantastic. I tell
good to
you.
hear. Good to hear.
See,
We're gonna
Brenny's
jump
bringing them
straight
all
in.
out.
What's the sorry?
I said, Brenny's bringing them all out.
I'm
Yeah,
Scarf,
telling you, man.
mug, everything.
Yeah, I was saying this. I got this almost 30 years ago, Canners.
Wow.
That was when got us tickets for the Palace game in the League Cup semi-final. Yeah,
Excellent, excellent,
that's
excellent.
well
history.
done, man.
History.
Telling
So
you.
we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this. Arsenal, well, Fulham 0, Arsenal 3. Kings of London strike again. I think that's the fifth London derby we haven't conceded in. It's a new record. Um,
Jeez, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, really good start from Arsenal. So lineup. Let's get into the lineup first. Obviously, no one really knew. Arteta was being very cryptic about some of the players where they were in terms of fitness, who was going to be back. So let's go to you first, Brady. When you saw the 11, how happy was you? Obviously, Trossard starting, um, and Jesus on the bench.
I was happy because I thought, to be honest, I thought Trossard and Martinelli weren't even going to make the 11. You know what I mean? And it was good to see them. And yeah, I thought I always thought we'd win this game. I thought we'd win 2-1. I thought it'd be a really close game because of Fulham's form this season, and I thought it'd be an even tougher game because of what happened in their derby the other night at Brentford.
Mm,
And you know what? We did what we had to do in that first half. I mean, we played some great football,
yeah,
and
definitely.
also, and I know Smudger was talking about it, and I know we were all probably thinking, well, how come? What's going on with Fulham? But at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you, and we cannot focus on why is it that Fulham aren't performing this half. It was probably the way we kept closing them down. Who knows? You know what I mean?
I would say that
But
as much it looked easy, but I
mm,
think that's down to the football we play. And I'll give you a few instances of that. There was times in that first half where Fulham were really pressing us in, and the second goal comes
yeah,
for it. And
that's right.
this is the difference with Arsenal under Arteta compared to other teams. And I'm not again Man City keep the ball well, but there was a pass into Saka, which to me is
Mm,
the wrong ball. He's got three men around him, but he
yeah,
manages to keep hold of the ball, get out, gives it to Saliba. Saliba then has a bad touch, which opened up all the space, and then one ball. And this is what happens when teams press you like that, and you can be that composed to keep the ball. Once you find the ball out, which was Granit Xhaka, now we've
mm,
turned almost what we having the ball in our own penalty area to now we're
yeah,
going at your back four. It's 5 against 4, and Fulham did try. I think they did try the first half. I think we was just. That's probably one of the better first halves I've seen, and we easily could have scored five or
mm,
six in that first half. Like
yeah,
we had another one. The football was absolutely beautiful, and Xhaka I think you got caught in two minds. I thought and he should have shot. He took the touch and it come away. But yeah, that
That would
for
have
me
been goal of
was.
the season.
It would
And
have.
I think our second one. I think our second goal should be in with a shout goal
Yeah.
of the season because
The third goal, you mean?
no, our second, the Martinelli header. Watch when that starts. That starts back, and
That's
it's a
from
lot of
Saliba's
passes.
ball out.
Yeah, but you think that what happened before that? We went
Yeah.
forward, back, and that's when Saka beats free, passes to Saliba, and Saliba gets the out ball. So again, it'd be interesting to see how many touches that was and how many passes it was before we scored it because it was a lot of passes. But yeah, as much as Fulham looked bad, I think that's Arsenal making them look bad. Like I think we were just unbelievable today. Yourself, Canners, let's go to you. What did you think of the start 11? How happy was you to see Jesus back on the bench?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, it's great to have him back. It's only going to help us in the end, in the sense that, you know, we've now got a run of games coming up, and April is going to be one hectic month, really.
Yeah.
So we need everyone as fit and firing, you know, as possible. And listen, it was a lovely surprise to see Trossard starting. So no issues at all.
Happy with 11?
Happy with 11. I think it was the strongest we could go. I think it's the strongest bar. You could arguably say, Jesus starting. But what I love now about the three, the four, doesn't go into the three, does it? But you know, the four players, we're even more now. I'm sorry, I'm doing Nelson and Nketiah a disservice. We've got the three out there plus that started today, plus Jesus, and it's who would you drop?
The bench looks healthy, and this is, I think, what we get into later, or in streams to come. It's going to be, when does Jesus get the start? Because at this moment, do you drop Trossard? But before we get into the man of the moment, Bobby, obviously you did the watch along, starting 11. How did you predict it? Did anyone get it right? And how happy was you with that 11?
No, everyone
I think everyone thought Trossard was out, didn't they? So
no one picked Trossard this week at all. But yeah, I think other than that, everyone was happy with the lineup. Trossard was just a lovely surprise, nice little cherry on top of the cake. But yeah, I was happy. There's you know, you can't. It's fine to go full strength. I know that some went a few wild cards here, there, and there, everywhere, but I think even that squad would have probably been 3 or 4 up in the first half as well, because that Fulham just did not come out of the traps at all. And like you said, Gumsa, we could have easily been up 6-7 in the first half. Easily, because that was an awful performance by Fulham, but Arsenal took advantage. And that's the thing with Arsenal's mentality. We take advantage of a poor performance by the opposition, which not a lot of teams do. They don't take advantage of it. We do. So our mentality this season is so different, and I love it.
Are we doing ourselves a disservice here by saying that it was a poor performance by Fulham, and not because that the best half of football I've seen us play was away at Brentford, and that was today was probably better.
Do you know? I think what it is, it's they didn't come to sit in. And I think that's the difference. A lot of teams, so you might say they've performed well against us, but all they've done is sat deep, not let us break them down, and will counter and maybe create a chance or two. So they haven't necessarily played well against us. They just stopped us playing. Whereas, watch that for them. They didn't. Again, they've probably got nothing to lose at this moment in time. Do you know what I mean? They're quite safe in the Premier League, so they're not having to. I would expect it different when we play Southampton's, Palace. Them teams that are down there are fighting for their life. I don't think Fulham are in that position. So it's almost a free hit for them. So I feel that's an element of why it went the way it did, because they kind of came out to play us, which probably is the worst thing to do when you're playing a team like Arsenal in this form at the moment. So yeah, I think as much as it looked like Fulham are really bad, I feel you have to put the plaudits to Arsenal, because we were flowing, really flowing. Again, we're talking the 3 goals. Let's get into the first bit of action now. Granit Xhaka threw ball to Martinelli, which forced the keeper into a save, which went in off the defender. And from that moment, it was like we're purring. And then we get the first goal not too long after that. But let's go for VAR decision. Do you think it was offside? It took a long time to draw the lines, and I'm thinking you can't see because they're so far apart. Just draw the lines. Like, why are you taking 3 minutes of going through 3 checks before you know you got to get to this point? And these are the frustrations of VAR, isn't it? It's like, just draw the line straight away. Why are you doing, do you know what I mean? Whatever you're doing to get to that point, like, It almost kind of lured me in thinking, is he onside then? Like, why are they not drawing it? Have I missed something? Was it a straight, clear-cut decision for you, Bobby? Straight offside?
No, not at first, because I was literally watching it and going, right, no, I think he's just off. But it was so tough, and it was annoying me because obviously they were showing the VAR when I was watching it. I was like, why are you zooming in on Robinson? Because you can't see Martinelli. Why are you just zooming in on him? And I'm like, just put lines up, then we can quickly see and then move on. But they don't. They take forever. And it's not that hard. VAR is a good system and it's very easy to use. I'm sure all of us could use it. But for these officials, they seem to struggle.
Yeah, and the commentator was saying something about they have to do 3 checks before they get to the line. So it's just I think they do the eye test, and I don't know what the second one is. And then if they can't get it, then they go to the line. But it's like where Robertson was to Martinelli, you can't do that with eye. You need the ruler, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just get it out. Like, use common sense. Just get it out early. That should have been wrapped up within 15 seconds. Put the lines up. You see he's offside. Move on. But again, it took like 2 minutes. I'm sitting there like, oh, what are these lot doing? But let's get on from that anyway. Let's move on to the first goal. Again, it didn't come that far after the offside. Corner from Trossard, and met well by Gabriel. I think we're now joint top goal scorers from set pieces this season. So, Canners, anything you notice in that goal? We're coming to you with this one.
Do you know what? The thing is, we struck, again, because at a perfect time. So it kind of didn't allow them to respond, to kind of regroup or whatever. And I just think it was the perfect goal to score. And it's just weird because I'm just loving the way this team's playing right now, and the way they're kind of like killing off teams. It was a good goal, man. The thing is that it was just I'm lost for words today because I'm just so happy about it, because this was a potential banana skin, man, and it's just great to see this team playing it the way they are, man. It's just so confident and comfortable. It seems like we can score at any time, and that was another example. The second goal was an example of that.
Definitely. But yeah, we move on to the second goal. See, the first goal, a header from Gabriel. Second goal, as we spoke about earlier, football, front to back. It's just keep the ball possession, move them around, open it up. It gets one-on-one with Trossard, beats the man, dinks balls in, Martinelli scores. Brenny, what's your thoughts during that goal? And it kind of reminded me of the Ramsey goal. Not the finish. Ramsey's finish was ridiculous against Fulham, but it's just like, it's something about us playing Fulham where we start putting these one-touch passes together. Brenny, what was your thoughts on the second?
It was. Do you know what? It just. I have to look at that again because I had to quickly pop out the kitchen, and then I had to see that again, and then it was like, wow. It was for me. I mean, it was a really good finish, but it was all about. It's just Trossard. It's just what Trossard did as well. I mean.
I think it was the build up, the whole goal. I mean, as soon as the ball went in, I turned around to my boy and I said, "That must have been about 25 or nearly 30 passes, and that."
That's what I mean, exactly. And and this is the thing, and we always seem to do that against Fulham. It's just, I just thought, it was well deserved the way we was playing, and you could see the way we were flowing in that first half that we were going to do something like that anyway, because there's always times that when we're on point, we could always string between say 10, 15 passes, 20 passes. But I was just so well. I was like, wow. And it's like that second goal, it was basically, it kind of threw me in such a positive way, because I was thinking, wow, we mean business here, and I was thinking, you know what, we're going to win a league, and I was just in awe of that. I'm just, it's the first time in ages I've been buzzing, and I thought, woo, it was just, I mean, yeah, I'm just so overwhelmed by that goal, from the build up, everything else. I can't speak high enough of these guys, man. It's like, wow, I was just on another level today.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
If you'd have been here with me now, you'd have been like, wow.
Yeah, you got him on cloud nine. I love it.
I'm telling you. Wow.
Let's get into the third goal. Bobby, again, Trossard heavily involved. Great pick out for Odegaard, and then the composure inside the box, isn't it? I'll take the first touch, not for the second, but for the third, and then I'm gonna punish you. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's just the class of the guy. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that goal, Bobby?
Yeah, I was getting wrapped up for half time. I was like getting all the stuff ready for half time, and then Odegaard just popped up and just had a beautiful finish. That's what we've been at the beginning of the season. We're all kind of getting on Odegaard's back about you need to start finishing, you need to start scoring. He's just doing it now, and he does it with such ease as well. It's like such an easy thing for him to do, and I love it about him. Yes, I'm never that overexcited by him, because I'm more of a Vieira fan. That's just me. That's just who I prefer. But I do love the way that Odegaard plays, and it cost 35 million quid. I'm happy.
Still, absolute steal.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
How much would he cost right now? What's
he's 90s easily.
He's trebled, isn't it? He's trebled, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Absolute steal. But yeah, so again, that's the goals. Half time, we're absolutely flowing. Again, we could have scored more. Second half, we done what we had to do in the first half, and I think that was more about no one get injuries, no one get these silly cards, and to see the game out, which we done. But let's talk about the man of the moment. He was our plan B, and at this moment in time, he's making such a difference to this team, isn't he? Again, you can't foresee injuries. I don't think anyone saw him starting in the 9 much. It looked like more of a winger. Playing in the false 9. Again, all the assists come from the left-hand side. I know one was a corner, but he swaps position with Martinelli well, and he's just creating havoc out there. Leandro Trossard. What's your thoughts? Because again, if you look at the price tag, and this is one thing Arsenal haven't done well in the past, we don't buy well in January. Also, we never used to really buy many from the Premier League. I think Arteta and Edu are the kind of first two that started to do it. We seem to be grabbing Brighton's best players, but what a difference this guy's made to this team, Canners. And again, if we do manage to get over the line, I feel this is going to be one of the most important things we've done. Someone who knew the Prem, didn't have to settle in, he hit the ground running, and I can't see a team without him now. Like, even when Jesus is back in the 11, it's going to be difficult.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever misses out of them 4 is harsh. It's going to be harsh because, you know, the little cameo that Jesus come on, you just saw his quality straight away, and you just thought, oh, we've missed this. But then, listen, you know, Trossard, man, and what he's doing and how he dovetails with Martinelli is just fantastic. You know, they both seamlessly do it. One will kind of move into the centre, while the one will move out to the left, etc. And they'll kind of interchange and keep that moving. But as I said, Trossard there, do you know what? The recruitment of this club right now, they're doing wonders. And for me, Trossard is a big club signing. What I mean by that is that, you know, it's a kind of signing that Liverpool did a few years back with your Mane or with your Jota. Who's the guy from Porto they got? Who's in Diaz, that's it. That's the kind of, you know, when you're a big club and you kind of like, you know, start making those kind of signings. And Trossard is one of them signings in my view. And it was a no-brainer. It was such an obvious signing. Yeah. He screams an Arsenal player, and he has just fitted and slotted in like a glove. His 1-2 plays with them, and it was really a funny moment right there. I think it was on the right side, and he was playing with Saka, and you can hear Saka screaming at Trossard to pass the ball. He's like, you hear, seriously, you can hear it. Is Saka saying, Leon, now, Leon. Brilliant. And it's just like, do you know what? The thing is, when you kind of hear little things like that, and you see that the way they're playing together, and when one of them scores, and the Martinelli goal was such a case in point. half the team went to Martinelli, half the team went to Trossard.
Yeah.
And then you saw right off the back of it, after Martinelli, he goes straight then to Trossard, to acknowledge what he did in that part. Because it was a perfect move, really, and a perfect, pass and assist to Martinelli. And it's just a great thing to see. Everything's working so well right now. I can't. This is brilliant. Yeah, I feel like I'm playing with those guys, But yeah, Trossard, a great signing, and everyone, even Vieira, starting to kind of make a difference.
It's all clicking. It is that even the fringe players are coming in, and you can see they're not the level of the starters, but they're doing bits to make you feel like, okay, like Vieira's unlucky not to get assist in that game. Reece Nelson come on and beat his man a few times, and
he's unlucky not to get assist as well. Exactly.
Yeah, so, like it's the best behind the rest. The rest behind the best, I should say, are starting to show a bit of promise, and it bodes well for the future. But yeah, I'm going to move on. So yeah, as I said, Trossard, unbelievable performance. But let's move on to the guy we all wanted to see recently, Gabby Jesus. Bobby, again, thoughts on his cameo, because he just looked like he's been playing since, I don't know, like he didn't look off the page. He looked sharper than ever. And big credit to the physios, because they've got him up to scratch, haven't they? What was your thoughts when he come on, and how lively did he look?
Yeah, I've spoke to a couple of people at Arsenal, and since he's actually come back in training, he's been biting at the bit to get back, and they've told him calm and just wait. And I got excited just because I saw him turn up with his boot bag today. I was like, yes, we're going to see a bit of him today. I do think that we put him on for the right amount of time as well. We didn't play him for half an hour. We just paid him for a short amount of time. I don't think we'll see him start against Sporting. I think it will maybe half an hour, maybe half a game. We just need to ease him back instead of just rushing him back. Yeah. So, but honestly, he's sublime. This is not the Jesus that I thought we were getting from City. This is Jesus Mark II. It's such an improvement from the one that City had. I thought he was good at City. Don't get me wrong, but he never looked like this at City. He's just sublime. I love him.
Yeah. There seems like there's a bit more element of freedom to his game at Arsenal. I think City, he was quite not to say restricted, but he was very, very meticulous in the movement. But we didn't see the skill level, I don't think, at City. That's what I'm seeing at Arsenal. It's the skill level, the things he's doing. And again, you've almost fallen, because we've done so well without him. I'll hold my hands up. I kind of forgot some of the things he does on the pitch, and that within the 2 minutes he come on, he flicked that ball. I was like, Jesus Christ, the teams are in trouble now. If you've got him and Trossard doing this, you got Martinelli's pace, you got Saka being Saka, and again, what we have got is, if we are struggling for a goal, let's not forget Eddie is that fox in the box. Do you know what I mean? Who can sniff things out. So it's like, yes, one thing we don't have is a powerhouse in there, but we've got lots of little weapons that form together. It's gonna be like Power Rangers. It's just like, it's just gonna be absolutely crazy when they all start linking up. So I'm looking forward to it. Brady, what about you? Let you have a little word on Jesus. How happy was it for you to see him back there?
Happy. I was ecstatic to see him back. What? I mean, even what he did today in that short space of time deserved a goal. And it was that. And it was just the touches. And I thought, you know what? Even though we're still top of the league, I've missed this. You know what I mean? Because we've missed him not missed him as such, because we've not been struggling. But I mean, I would have liked to have seen him play against City in the league. I'm not saying we would have won the game. I still thought we were the better side, but you know, it would have been nice to have seen him. But he brings, what I like about what we bring now with the business end of the season now is that it's like a new signing. And you know what I mean? The Arsene Wenger, you know what I mean? Yeah, new signing. So you know what I mean? So it's you know what? I'm with Bobby in saying that I wouldn't start him against Sporting, but I think Palace, I think he should be on the bench again, and maybe against Leeds at home he'll start. But I just
Palace
think,
is the last game before international break, isn't it? If I'm correct.
yeah, yeah,
So I think, for me, again, I wouldn't want to see him start until after international break. I think you give him that time off.
100%. 100%.
we can
And then you
invest
got
it.
Eddie, to come back as well. And I feel we can. The only how we can win. I feel now we can win the league, because I was actually worried a little bit about this fixture today, because we're all aware of the 2 home games coming up where I expect 6 points. Rago, I don't care. I expect 6 points. So come April, if we've got everyone fit, I think we'll be fine. If we got everyone fit, no suspension, we'll be fine. But Jesus, yeah, man, happy to see him back,
I love
and with his bag of tricks.
Yeah, boy.
Gumsa, can I just chime in for one minute? Just 1 minute.
Yeah, go on.
All the beauty of us going forward, right, was great. For me, I guess because of his free assists, you have to give the man of the match probably to Trossard. But for me, William Saliba today, was absolutely tremendous. Oh my God. Mitrovic is no kind of like easy guy to deal with it, and he dealt with him today. He shut him out. And not only that, his calmness, and don't forget, it was his ball that pretty much started the second goal. But what he did today, and even you see with that little run and then the shot, fair enough, it went over the bar. But today, Dan James running at him, and he's jet healed. He just kind of ushered him down the line, picked his time, slid in, and still got the ball and then played out. It was just today, this kid, and he is a kid, he's 21, isn't he? It's just, he is ridiculous. Today, for me,
I want to, because I wanted to get into it during the player ratings, because I feel Gabriel also deserves a mention today. I think he was.
He does.
I think Mitrovic did try and play on Saliba more, so I have to give Saliba a bit more because he had to deal with Mitrovic.
He won't be doing that again.
Gabriel still was solid as a rock, and I think that last minute block. And you see how much that meant to, because again, it was just bouncing around, and he just put his body there, and it meant a lot. And let's just get straight into the player ratings, because again, I think the whole back line was strong today, and we're going to start with Ramsdale. And I know people are going to criticize. He's done 2 bad passes. I think 1 bad pass out for the back. He was a bit sloppy, but he made some crucial saves, and he was strong with his punches today. He punched more than normal, but I think that's because Mitrovic was there. I don't think he got to take chances catching. So he just made good decisions, and he made 2 or 3 really good saves in that second half. So let's get into Ramsdale. I've already spoken on this, so I'll take Ramsdale first, because I've just literally killed someone else's review. I was going to get to. So I'm going to give Ramsdale a 7 today. I think, he commands the back line well. Do you know what I mean? And there was a moment in the second half where Fulham started to get up to a bit of speed, and between him and Gabriel, you could see them really shouting at the forwards and midfielders about kind of maybe their position or maybe how they're pressing. Something was that they weren't happy with something, and Gabriel and Ramsdale really led by example today. I'm not sure if you get a chance to watch it back, you'll really see Gabriel and Ramsdale really giving it to the guys in front of them. So for me, 7 from Ramsdale. We're gonna go around to Bobby next. You get our right back, Ben White.
For me, it's 7. He didn't have a bad game, but he had quite a quiet game for me. I think that our right today wasn't the greatest. That's my opinion. So I'm going to give him a 7.
I agree with you on that one. Go inside to Saliba. Khaled, you really brought him up so you could score him.
I'm giving Saliba a 9 today.
Ooh,
bad. Man, I was so impressed. I mean, look, Mitrovic for me is an absolute handful. Not many players or defenders will be able to deal with him in the same way that Saliba did. And not only that, his distribution, the way he moved out with the ball, his passing, it was, for me, it was just top today. I really loved the performance, and just the little cameo of him going on that little run in the shot. From the TV, it looked like it was going top bin, but obviously it was a straight and went over. But for me, it's superb, flawless performance really from him.
Not bad, 9 for him. His partner Gabriel Brenny.
Getting him an 8 today. I thought he was brilliant. Apart from there was only one moment in that second half. The only time sort of sloppiness from him was. It was only in that second half, but you know what? At the end of the day, looking at it, he still managed to get the clean sheet. And but I thought he was a boss at the back. I mean, himself and Saliba. I mean, Saliba for me, you know, both of them were fantastic today. Saliba for me, that was from. I know Cannon just marked him, and I would have given the same mark, but that partnership, it's so strong to the point where us getting clean sheets as well as winning games, clean sheets. It's so important now with the business end of the season. So 8 for me.
Nice. I'm not going to argue with it. Silver Fox, I'm going to put yours up in a minute, but I don't want to spoil it for everybody. I get Zinchenko, and it is a 7 from me. Close to a 6. I don't think he was bad, but it just what I've seen of Zinchenko, it just wasn't that, if that makes sense. But that could be because of how Fulham set up. But yeah, he'd get a 7 from me. It was a quiet game, but yeah, sometimes actually it's nice to take that pressure off him. He hasn't got to make the risky passes or try and beat free in the middle. Obviously they blocked out our centre, gave our left side a lot more space, and that's probably why you saw Trossard have the fun he had out there. So yeah, maybe they're so worried about Zinchenko, it then creates spells elsewhere, and that's what you want, isn't it? It's that rotation. So yeah, get a 7. We're moving to the centre midfield. Bobby, you lucky man, you get Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
Very influential with our third goal.
I want to give him an 8 because he kept Pereira quiet as well. Pereira, for me, I know United history and all that stuff, but he's been brilliant for Fulham this season, and to keep Pereira quiet is not easy. And he had some really important offensive touches as well today, which I was very impressed by. So I can't remember who went for him as the number 8 in the formation this week. I would like to see him there now. I think he can actually do the Xhaka role quite well. I think I'd like to see him there, but definitely an 8 for me today.
Nice.
There was a move that he did where 2 players had to pay to come back in. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
They got stuck at the turnstiles.
This guy's unbelievable, honestly.
He is.
And he heavily involved with the third. If you remember the throw-in, and he came out and won the header. Like he had no right getting there, and he just that sets us off for the third goal. So yeah,
he's a great player to have.
He is. That man should be called Bruce Springsteen, man. What's Bruce Springsteen's nickname? The Boss.
Rick Ross.
Rose. Who do we get to? Canners, you got Granit Xhaka.
Ooh, tricky one because he that ball for the Martinelli was sublime, but also as well he was culpable, I think, for their best chance actually, where he didn't track back. I'm going to give him 7. Decent enough, solid enough, and do you know what? He does make a difference when he plays. He is such a good player. And he's so important to the way we play. 7 for me for Xhaka.
Yeah, not mad at it. Brennan, you got Odegaard?
Odegaard. Thought he played really well today. That first half, especially. He gets for me. He gets I would say.
Drum roll.
I would say a 7. I would have given him an 8 if he hadn't dropped off a bit in that second half, and then he picked up again when the subs were made. But you know what? No, man, I'm giving him an 8, man. Sod that, because I thought he was really good today.
Fair enough.
8.
I don't know how this has happened again. Saka's fallen on me again. I don't like it. I don't know how this has happened. However, I'm going to be totally honest.
I'm going to agree with all your thoughts because I already know what you're thinking. So I'm going to agree with you.
I would say first half, he done them 2 bits in the defensive end where he held onto the ball and it started our attacks. And I was like, some people, these things go unnoticed. Do you know what I mean? And we saw it in the second half. Vieira was getting similar balls, and Robertson was just robbing him, and they're coming at us again. So in that sense, I felt sorry for Tomiyasu because he has nowhere to go. He has to give it to Vieira. Vieira loses it, then we probably Tomiyasu's giving him a bad ball. We've lost it. Whereas Ben White gives that to Saka. He looks after it, and we come out, and that creates, because again, you all play football at a high level. We all watch football. Teams set up a press to say, right, when it gets there, we press. Now, if Saka loses the ball, they're at our back line. When Saka comes out of it, we've got space on the other side, and that's how Saka then is in acres of space because Fulham have pressed into that moment and we get out. However, the quality that Saka possesses, I was really disappointed in his output today. It's just not clicking at the moment for him. I know this is 3 games in a row. I've had to be quite harsh on him in a weird way. And again, maybe it's because of what I expect from Saka, but I don't know. In the final third, did anyone see him really do anything? And so I'm happy Bobby's with me. I'm gonna give him a 6. I'll be honest. I'm gonna give him a 6. And there's a few times he's actually beat the man, and it's hesitant. He's not releasing the ball. Like it's maybe I'm being critical, and I think maybe it is time for him to rest. Maybe Thursday he doesn't need to be near that starting 11. He's not doing anything badly, but it's just, do you know what I mean? I just want to see it again. Go on, Candace. Go on. I'll let you come in. Maybe we have a discussion about this before we move on.
Yeah. I mean, I think 6 is harsh, right? Because the thing is, I get what you're saying because he is a forward, right? And final third is what you really are marking him, or you're expecting him to make a difference. However, what I would say is in the first match against Fulham, Robinson played him extremely well. And Robinson is a very, 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 very good left back. I think Saka was more wary of that. And I think the fact is that I think Saka was probably ready for Robinson to push forward more than what he does. But the fact is that Saka's so good at receiving the ball and doing. Robinson didn't know what to do, whether to keep going with him, whether to, and he knew that if he Robinson didn't have his best game today. And I think they both kind of cancelled each other's out. Do you know what I'm saying? I was going to put in our WhatsApp group, what do you guys think of Robinson as a left back?
He's good.
Getting him in because I rate he's quick as
he's good until I saw the Martinelli header, and then I don't want him no more.
When I saw that, I was like, I'm glad I didn't put that in the group. But I think Arteta will coach that out of him. But listen, I think they both cancelled each other out today. I think
I think everybody's saying I think when he was receiving the ball, he was naturally deeper than normal. There wasn't very often where he was getting it and he's one-on-one. So
I think that was necessary today because they soon as Saka and you watch it, if you watch the game back, soon as Martinelli gets the ball, there isn't that rush for that second player to come to Martinelli. As soon as Saka gets the ball, bam, straight away, there is that urgency for Fulham to have 2 players on him. And the thing is, but Saka now, though, is a player.
I think with Saka today, I think he was trying too hard to make something happen.
You think? I actually thought
he's done a lot of good stuff, but there was a lot of times where he's done the first bit and you're thinking, just give it, you'll get it back shortly. And he tried to do it again by himself. Right. And it's maybe I'm looking at things. Again, everyone looks at things from a different lens. And again, I think I've been watching Saka the last 2 games and I scored him low in both, to be fair. And again, this is the makings of them players because when the chips are down, he pulls it out the bag. And again, maybe because everything else is purring, I'm thinking, and again, as a winger, he's probably thinking, I need a goal. I need an assist in this game. Like he's seeing Martinelli scoring for Wood at the moment. Trossard's getting assists galore. So we're talking about who misses out when Jesus is back. Is he thinking, it might be me if I don't buck up? So there's a few things I'm thinking.
No, the thing is, he works. So when Fulham were trying to press, he was working.
I love it. Listen.
You can trust him with the ball.
If he's fit, he starts every game for me. And this is the beauty of it. But I have to score on this performance. I don't think it's his best performance. I think Bobby's in agreement. Brenny, what about you with Saka? Do you feel a bit unfit today, or are you more with Candace of?
No, I thought he was all right today. I didn't think he was at his best. But there were some things that that he did. Where I mean, I do agree with what Cannon said in terms of himself and Robertson cancelling each other out, but there were times where I felt in the first half he got the better of it, and I thought he was still involved. He still had some good touches, still involved. You know, I thought he still worked well with Ben White in that first half, and I thought in the second half, I thought we was very unlucky not to get anything from who is it? He played he played a really clever from the corner.
Martinelli had the shot.
Yes,
Yeah, Martinelli
yeah.
had the shot.
So there were still things that he did. You know what I mean? He was still trying. He was trying to get involved. I mean, yeah, he was trying to. I thought at times he was trying to do a bit much, but you know what? I think he. I don't think he was poor today. I personally don't think he was poor today, but he wasn't at his best. If that makes any sense.
At his levels, I mean, I understand,
and I think that's why I'm grading him like the way I'm grading him because it's Saka, isn't it? He's still my guy, and he's still again my number one. He's still the man. He's held us up for 3 years straight. He's been unbelievable. And again, maybe it's because actually I rate him so highly is why I'm looking and thinking, do you know what I mean? A few little bad touches, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But do you know, let's grade him a 7. You lot have brought me back up to a 7 because do you know what? As I say, I always say we never know what's asked of a player in the changing room, and actually his role might be a bit different today because again he noticeably was receiving the ball a lot deeper than normal. And again, it is part of why we're successful on the left side is because they have to overcompensate on our right side because you can't allow him to get one-on-one. So naturally, there's more space elsewhere, which means a credit to him. So yeah, all right, we'll give him a 7. Let's move on to the man of the moment. Bobby, you got the big smile because you got Mr. Trossard.
I never give anyone a 10 unless they do like some craziness. So it's going to be a 9. He was brilliant, and I do know he wasn't 100% fit today. So to do that performance, brilliant. And I love the kid. I loved him when he signed him, and I hate, and I know you said it out of just pure comedy value, but he's not a plan B. Arsenal wanted him before Mudryk. So he's never a plan B. I always wanted him. I wanted him when he was at Ghent. I'm happy he's now at Arsenal. He's a very happy little boy. He loves playing at Arsenal, and I don't blame him. And good luck, Jesus, trying to knock you out of the starting spot now, because honestly, that is going to be one hecky trick. But you've also got the actual fact is we can actually go 4 up front as well now if things get really tricky.
I was speaking earlier, you could put Trossard in that in Odegaard's
position.
You could do it. I was you said it earlier, Cadders, and I was thinking, no, you could put him in there. Like I think he's got enough about him to play in that more central region, deep. He comes. He's just a baller, isn't he? He is just. He's a typical kind of Wenger signing, isn't he? Just an absolute technician, a baller,
and he's at a good age as well. Trossard, he's at a really good age. I mean, I think he's the oldest player we have in that front three.
And do you know the beauty of it is, Mudryk got an assist yesterday. Mudryk got an assist yesterday, didn't he? Well done. And then Trossard said, "Oh, okay, let me show you," and gives you free. Let me show you. So, and yeah, G Talks is in the building. Big at yourself. He's saying, "So glad Trossard silenced the doubters." And I'll be real, I was one of them who it made sense to me, but he wasn't my first pick. But I'm happy to put my hands up and say I wasn't expecting this from what he's done. Yeah, he's been unbelievable. I think what kind of put me off was his age, but he's not even old. You know what I mean? I think I don't know what I was thinking.
I think we've got 3 years of good service to come from him.
I think more than 3 actually.
Definitely.
Back, I said 2-3 years. But I think the way he plays, he's not reliant on pace. And because I was always with Zaha, you lot have all heard me saying like get Zaha in, he could do all the jobs. But yeah, he's starting to lose a bit of his pace. And
see that.
But now there's an expiry date on him now. He's probably talking 2 years. Whereas I think Trossard's style of play, you could go until you're 40 because I'm not reliant on my pace. I was all about the brain and intelligence and how I move, body shape. So I feel you can get a good 4 or 5 years out of him. So yeah, it looks like a great signing. Who have we not got to? Oh, you saw them a 9, didn't you, Bobby? Is that correct?
Yeah, I did Trossard. Yeah, 9.
Excellent. So first subs, I believe, were
hang on, Martinelli.
Martinelli.
Oh, he started, didn't he? Sugar. Canners,
Yeah, I restarted.
You've got too much players now. I'm not used to this, man. Like, you remember the times before have 2 subs and that was it. You knew what the 11 was. Like, it's just getting way too much for my brain to
I can remember
comprehend.
one sub.
All right, hold on. We're gonna get to the subs in a minute. Let's get to Martinelli. Sorry, Martinelli. Canners, Martinelli.
Problem today. He had a very, very good game today. Always his dynamism and his energy is absolutely tremendous. Players or defenders know they do not have time on the ball when he's about. Today he gets an 8 from me. His goal was great. You know, he also had unlucky really not to have an involvement in the goal that was disallowed. But it was all about his movement and the last few weeks he's been tremendous, really. Glad to see him come back. It looks like, you know, the kick up the backside or the rest, whatever it was, has seemed to have worked, because he's back to his brilliant self again. So happy with him today. Very, very good at 8.
Definitely. Right, let's get into the subs. So if I remember, first 2 subs were Reece Nelson and Kieran Tierney. So Brennan, you get Tierney.
Tierney felt he did all right when he came on, especially going forward and back. I just today because it's clean sheet day as well. I thought he did. I'll just give him a standard 7.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can see that he's been working on his positional play because there's one point he was up top.
Yeah.
So
right.
So you know, fair play to him. I love Tierney, so it'd be good to kind of see him if he can pick up that role.
Yeah, I hope he starts midweek as well. I think he deserves a start.
I think he will.
But, let's get into. So I said get Nelson. He was the second, so I came on the same time. I thought he was really sharp actually. Again, I was very unlucky not to get an assist. 1v1, taking on his man. I'm gonna give him. Don't want to do halves. I give him 7. It's a 6.5, but I give him a 7. I give him the benefit of that because of time. Let's move on. Next subs were, I believe, Jesus and Vieira came on at the same time.
I'll have Vieira. I'll let Canas have.
Yeah, I know you love Vieira.
So
go
on. You can have
I'm gonna give Vieira a 7 for managing to win a free kick when no one touched him. I thought that was amazing. Davy Coots today, I have to be honest, was probably wearing an Arsenal shirt under that ref shirt today. Because did you see the Gabriel challenge as well, which he got no yellow card for?
Yeah. On Mitrovic.
Honestly, Davy Coote, I can't wait to speak to you again because I'm going to shake you by the hand. But honestly, Vieira, how Vieira got that free kick is beyond me. But
I know.
His turn of pace today. His turn of pace today was just on it as soon as he came on, and again it looked dangerous. And I just love the kid, and I'll leave Jesus for Canas.
Yeah. So give him a 7 again. Unlucky not to get an assist, Vieira, because you expect Jesus to score that. But yeah, Canas, you got the.
I would have given
returning guy.
Jesus an 8 if he had scored. To be honest, you know, but look, it's so good to. I'm going to give him a 7. Solid enough, nice touches. He's done some beautiful things. It's all now about match fitness for him. I think once he gets one of those hard challenges and he comes, you know, gets back up from that, that's when we know that he's properly back and he's ready and raring to go and able to start. So, a solid 7. I can't give him anything more than that, really. Didn't really have that much time to do much more than that, but it was lovely to see him on the pitch. And special shout out to the Arsenal fans, because when he came on, they gave him the almighty cheer, and it was lovely. It was a beautiful thing, man, to hear that.
100%. And last sub, I'm going to take charge of it just because it's Tommy. I see he only come on for the last 8 minutes or so. So we give him a standard 6. Fair play to him. So let's get into the manager. Can we just get a score? Because we're trying to keep under 50 minutes. We've got a minute to wrap this up. So Bobby, score for Arteta.
7.
Lovely. Canas?
8.
Brenny?
Yeah, 8 as well.
Nice. And I'm going to give him 8. So yeah, 1-7-8 for the rest of us. 3-0 win away from home. Kings of London. I think we've got two more London derbies to go. Palace and
West
Chelsea.
Ham.
I always
And
thought West
Chelsea
Ham
got
would play
three.
3 more. There's a lot of London teams in the league this year, isn't there? There's a lot. So let's see if we can keep knocking them over. Just going to quickly get this up here before we go. Luke from across the pond at Sports Talk, big up yourself. Perfectly normal to have doubts about us considering our history in recent years. But this team's got what it takes to win the league. And yeah, they're really showing at the moment. Nothing's kind of slowing them down. We had that little blip, but we're seeming like we're back. He's also said 5 points clear before the World Cup. Jesus misses 12 games. And we're still 5 points clear. So proud of these players. And they have
He
rallied
just
around
woke up
without him,
from a
haven't they?
cryo chamber, hasn't he, Jesus?
And yeah, it's been quite nice to see the players rally around and to show that we can do it different ways. Do you know what I mean? We look like we're kind of back to our fluent best. So yeah, long may it continue. Arsenal keep it going. Guys, for this week, well, for this evening, for this week, we're out 5 points clear at the top still. Sporting Lisbon to come on Thursday. And then Arsenal against Palace next week at home. Let's see if we can get to the international break with 2 more wins, staying in the UEFA Cup, and we'll be 8 points clear because City don't play next weekend. So let's see if we can really put the pressure onto them. But from me and the rest of the guys at the Armoury TV, thank you all for tuning in. Please keep liking and subscribing. There'll be a lot more content coming next week. And on that note, we're out of here.